me right there. Set up another. Come on. Okay. Sunday. Why aren't you guys in church? You should be in church thanking the Lord for all they give to you. Well, I'm glad you're here. Matthew, it's Joe from Harrisburg. Joe from Harrisburg. You got to get a life just listening to me. Wow. Hey, Matt, I'm Kyle. I'm 22 and I was released from prison. It is now, actually, with the internet and stuff like that, I mean, if you look on my playlist on YouTube, I have a video that shows you how, like there's 20 million ex-felons out there, and they can all get money for business using the internet. This is crowdfunding and stuff like that. So no matter what your background is, it's now easier than ever, to get the help you need and financial assistance and job training and everything. And actually, there's even a lot of programs at your workforce development center in your county that are just there for, actually I was just at a meeting in Washington, D.C., and what returning citizens, they call them. Right, programs for returning citizens where they're giving companies money to pay the salary of returning citizens. This is people out of jail who are coming back and need help in getting through the system and learning how to use the system and everything. So that's why go to your workforce development program for that kind of stuff too, because there's a lot of help there. And also start learning about crowdfunding, start learning about the shared economy and learning about those problems. Hail to the chief. Oh, wow. I think I got ex-wives would say something else. Add you to comment. All right. Good morning. I always give the Lord thanks. Yay. Thank somebody, even if it's the person you live with or people around you. I mean, if you don't have a faith or religion, just thank them for being, alive and enhancing your life. Something caused all that to happen. And if you debate what the hell caused it, who cares? It's there. That's why about the government programs. People yell at me for encouraging people to use government programs. Shit, they're there. I'm not saying they're good or bad. We could have that discussion some other time. Thanks, man. I'm going to see the resource office Monday. Good. Yeah, Kyle, because there are, and that is start looking. Look at my my playlists on YouTube. I got a lot of stuff there on that. Particularly job training. I mean, that is really a lot of cool stuff happening in that. You don't have to go back and get a degree to get a good job anymore. So don't look at that. Just get some skills. And that's easy to get no matter what your background. Check with your workforce development office, in your county level, and check with your local community college. Most of their programs to get jobs are not degree oriented. You don't have to go through an English class and algebra. They're just skill training. So a couple months, to a year or something like that, you get enough skills to get a dynamite job. And that's what you want. You want to be employed. Let's wait another minute or two. Oh, it's not even 11:45. How did I get here so early? I'm usually late for everything. Actually, I'm usually early, to tell you the truth. I hate having that, pressure of trying to make it on time or whatever. By the way, in the headline there, I have letsgo.com/free. Kyle, take a look at that, because in there are all the beginning sources of people who will help you for free to get money and help and everything for whether you're getting a job or you need living expenses or you need housing help or whatever. So download that free report, letsgo.com/5, the number 5, then FREE, all in lowercase, and that will give you all the starting places you need no matter where you live in this country. And I have videos in there explaining each one of them. So you want to learn how to use those basic sources for getting through our society. And like I say, you're welcome to beat me up whether these things are good or bad. They're just there, And the rich people use the hell out of them. And that's why what motivates me more than anything is to educate the rest of society about them, because, man, the rich people, I started this business helping rich people and fat cats, and look at even Donald Trump. He doesn't even spend tax money because he doesn't have to spend a penny on taxes, right? And so America made him one of the richest people in the world, right? And he doesn't even have to contribute because he's learning the system, right? I mean, it's legal, and that's why these programs are legal, for you to do stuff. Now, to me, Donald Trump doesn't need help. There's so many more people that need help. What kind of coffee do you drink? I don't know. I have one of those espresso machines that press a button, it grinds the beans and spits it out, and then I love frothing, So I drink lattes, and I drink a lot of lattes. I was a fat kid, so I fight weight my whole life. I'm 74 years old now, and I fight weight every day of my life. And I run 5-6 miles. I just came back from running, and actually I ran about 4 and walked about 2. And that's how I keep it down. And somehow caffeine, I don't know how bad it is for me. I still feel pretty healthy. But it really suppresses my appetite a lot. Maybe it's the warm milk or something like that does it more than anything. I'm not really sure. But exercise, I know, I would be a blimp if I didn't do that. And I've been running for 40 or 50 years now. It's in my 20s, so I'm 74, so it's getting close to 50 years of running. I can't believe that. Don't tell anybody, okay? People recognize you. Well, yeah, I don't know if they know my work or not, but they know me because I'm out there. I have fancy pants. I wear spandex pants with huge colors on them. I've got colors all over. I just love colors. How often do you do these broadcasts? I don't know. I mean, probably a few times a week, 2-3 times a week, maybe even more. Like I just did one yesterday, right? When people were here yesterday, I forgot already what the heck I talked about. What did I talk about yesterday? No, that's why you don't get a grant today. When I'm running out there, I think, geez, yeah, I got this. How not to worry about getting a job ever again. That's right. And that's what I talked about. And really, I showed you sources of information, and you could go on, just look up, look at my YouTube list or Facebook or on Periscope and my earlier things. Actually, the one yesterday didn't save on Periscope. I don't know why, but it's on YouTube and Facebook, and you can go there and think that. And that's a good one because it really shows you how not to worry about jobs. There's too many other ways to get jobs now in this country, the help or whatever. And particularly, Kyle, you should look at that. How long does it take to run 4 or 5 miles? Well, for me, I've never been a speedy runner. And God, I was getting slower and slower as I got older, and I was getting up to like 10.5 minute miles, 11-minute miles, then 11.5 minute, and then just a couple of months ago, wow, I just found speed, and I'm down 10-minute miles now, and even under 10 minutes. I ran a couple of 9:40 miles, and for me, an old guy like that who was never speedy in the beginning, I can't believe it, and how it ebbs and flows. Sometimes I have a lot of aches and pains and whatever. I know several people who need dental assistance help in Georgia and Alabama. Yes, I have a report on that. If you go to letsgo.com/research, it's a cheap report, shows you how to find all the free dental help, in any city that you are. The healthcare and the dental help, that's available. Or if you want to go through my videos on that. Happy Sunday, let's go. It's beautiful here in Fairfax. Yeah, I'm near Fairfax. I know that. When I was running today, I now have a home in Kensington, Maryland, the Maryland side of Washington, D.C. Yeah, yesterday was nice too. Actually, yesterday was muddy and sleepy. I fell on my ass and muddy all over. And I'm listening to a Kindle book. I have the audio version, but those books are so much more expensive that I do the Kindle is cheaper, and all the books aren't on audio. So there's a book called Dream Hoarders, and it's really about how our society is changing. Like the top 20% are grabbing all the marbles, and that's sort of not fair. I think if we're growing as a society, and this top 20% is grabbing more and more. And what I was thinking about today, maybe you agree or not, let me know, because I know I'm wrong a lot of times. But I was thinking, what we're doing is rich people give all their money to their kids, okay? And the kids of rich people get all the advantage. So they're getting, spending thousands and thousands of dollars. SA, that's South America? It's 105, wow. Texas, okay, Santa Fe. Anyway, so rich people spend a lot of money to help their kids succeed, right? So they get, build buildings on campuses so the kid could get in. They go to the, if mom and dad went to some fancy school, they have a hell of a lot better shot, like 300% more better shot of getting in. It's like getting an extra 150 points on your SAT scores if your parents went there. I mean, wow. So that's an advantage. So they're really sort of starting on second or third base. And also they're getting jobs because of their relationship to their parents. So look at Trump. He surrounded himself. These people have the best jobs in the world in the White House because they're his kids, right? So who knows if they're the most capable of. So I think, one of the reasons our country is not going to grow is that these rich kids who didn't make the money themselves. I mean, it's hard to beat on people who scram. Most of the rich people, I think, in this country started out poor. They were immigrants, like most people in this country, and built up something huge. And then they give all these benefits to society to their kids, and their kids really aren't as industrious or going to make as much. And but they have benefits and are going to take a bigger piece of this pie than they're contributing, So, that's one theory. I'm sure there's a lot of theories on all this, and I'd welcome to hear what you think. But let me talk about why you're not getting a grant from the government, huh? Why is that? It's because people vote. Oh, that's another thing. Okay, it's not they don't vote. That's why they're not getting a grant. You don't have to vote to get a grant. There's other reasons. Okay, here's some of the reasons I think. I got about 10 of them here. Why the average person doesn't get a grant. Number one, you believe in the media. Okay, the media, not that it's fake news. You have to be careful with a lot of media. Is that it's not so it's fake. It's true somewhere. So if they say something is cutting in the budget, then you think, oh, everything in the budget is being cut. And that's not true. That's just one thing. And usually when they talk about cutting it, they're talking about thinking about cutting it. They haven't cut it yet. We haven't had a budget. We're just running on last year's budget every year. We don't even have a budget. So they really haven't cut anything yet. But everybody, yells and screams, oh, the government is disappearing. Look at this. They talk about budget cuts. And it really isn't true. We're spending more money from the government than ever before. The amount of money that's going to individuals is greater than ever before. It's over like $21,000 per family. $21,000 per family. It grows every year. Maybe it may take a little diversions here, there, and different programs and different, but it keeps growing. So forget what the media says, and that influences more than anything because we think that's true everywhere, and it's not. That's why it is. It's harmful to your health. I have a 17-year-old graduating high school and wants to go to college to be a nurse, trying to find probably lots of help for that. But I'm not going to cover in specifics right now. Look in my videos or do letsgo.com/talk. We could talk about that. I could point you to where it is. letsgo.com/talk, TALK, and that's in small print. But let's go back to that list of 10 things. Okay. The other thing is, you're asking for a grant. No! Do not ask for a grant! Now, it seems stupid, doesn't it? Oh, sometimes I'm stupid. But actually, the reason is listen to this, only 20% of the free money, in other words, that $21,000 that's going out to families every year and growing every year, only 20% of that money is called grants. Only 20%. So if you're asking for a grant, what's happening? Okay, you're going to call some bureaucrat at their phone or their desk, or wherever the hell they work, you know, and you're going to ask for a grant, and then they're going to say, oh, they're going to look down their list of oh, I'm sorry, we don't have any grants. You know, and then you're going to say, well, yeah, okay, I knew Lesko was a windbag, you know, that old fart. You ought to get educated, or whatever, you know, and that's why you want what you're looking for. They're called other things. They're called loans you don't have to pay back. They're called how much money for research and development and invention. Yes, all that kind of stuff is there. It's just how you dig it, how you find things. Okay, let me finish this other thing. What you ask for. The key word, the overall word is financial assistance, okay? So that's the key. Financial assistance. Okay, that's the key word you want to know, okay? Oh, that's probably backwards on this stuff, okay? So financial assistance. By the way, on YouTubers, do you hear me okay? Because sometimes I'm having trouble with my audio, and I want to make sure it's okay. So let me know if it's okay. So that's what you want to ask for, is financial assistance. You don't ask for a grant, yeah. You're looking for financial assistance for help, because you don't care if it's a loan you don't have to pay back. You don't care what the hell they call it. You know, you don't care if they're really going to pay for your tuition, and they don't call it a grant or even a scholarship, but you don't have to pay anything. That's all you care. You care about, oh, very good. Oh, thank you guys. That's a lot of nice help. Okay. Here, you can hear it in Tennessee. Well, thank you, Tennessee. We want to hear you too. And we should listen to each other. And that's a free my dogs. Yeah, well, you can get free dogs from the government too. Actually, you know, the drug sniffing dogs that they train, you could adopt a drug sniffing, you know, dog for free. Now they'd be fun at parties. As people come in your party door, they'll be up smelling their crotch and stuff like that. I think it's ignorance when I think about starting a business. I think about renting space in a building. No, you don't have to do any of that stuff. We could cover that another time. But let me go through this list. I'll never get through the list, and everybody's going to be late for church. I don't want to make everybody late for church. Okay, so you don't want to use grants. Okay, don't ask for a grant, okay? That's a stupid thing to ask for when you want free money. See, this is what I mean. You have to know the questions to ask. Who the hell, what right person in their mind would have thought that you can't ask for a grant? Okay, also, the money isn't where you think it is. It's not where you think it is. I'm writing those down so I don't... You know why? Because everybody thinks, okay, I want a government grant, I gotta go to the government. Okay, where's the government? God, Washington, right? That's the biggest government, right? No, 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 no. My baby says I got to go to rehab, baby. No, no, no. No, you don't go to Washington. You go locally. That's where the stuff is. Because what happens, although most of the money comes from Washington, it goes to the state level, the funnel starts, you know. And it goes to all the state capitals. And then it goes to the county government. So it's down another level. Down to the county. Then it goes to the city. Then it goes to nonprofits. Well, it gets down to you. So it could go down 4 or 5 steps to get to you. That's why it's important to learning the system. Not DC. So don't start. Now there's of course there's all kinds of special exemptions, and some things start that way and some things don't end up that way. But in a general sense, for what most of us want to do, like housing money, education money, starting a business money, just living money. That's the other thing. You need money just to live on, to pay your bills. That's how that money goes. So you start calling Washington, that's not right. Okay. Okay. So you're going to the wrong places. Okay. Also, here's another thing. Everybody thinks that, oh, I don't get a grant because I'm not poor, or I'm not a minority, or I'm not some kind of other group or whatever, because I'm just a middle-aged white guy or something, and there's nothing for me. Now that's silly. You may think that, and I understand why that happens, because those programs that are set aside for people, they're the ones we know about, and because they get the most press. The ones, advertising in the media, and people talk about them, and people hate giving money, sometimes minority groups, so they yell about that more and stuff like that. So the middle-class white person thinks there's nothing there, when in fact, most of the money, and I mean mostly 80% or more, goes to just average Americans, not called minorities, and as minorities grow, they're average Americans, so they're going to get more. I mean, don't forget, there's interesting statistics. That's why, when a lot of these old people like me die, we're going to have a completely different country. Right now, if you're 55 or plus in this country, only 25% are minorities. You get down to in your 25 or so, 25 to 30, it's half our minorities. So now the young people, half are minorities. This is what our country is. They just have different color instead of when immigrants came, in my generation, they all look like me, They all have the same color. Now they have different colors, That's the only difference, but they're still immigrants, but they're minorities according to her. And that's why that term is just going to disappear in age, right? So when we have 75% of people of color in this country, then they won't be called minorities anymore. So you talk about your grandfather came here from Ireland. Yeah, see, that's where all the came back. A lot of them were discriminated. I was Polish heritage, and we were discriminated. We worked in the mines, I think. That's where the jobs were. My grandparents came in, and you grow. And you look at the Asians and everybody coming in over now. It's the same immigrant story that's happening. What's happening? Okay, so that's an okay. So the poor and minorities in it. Okay, also what people don't realize, and I think hucksters like me are to blame, is that it takes work. See, what happens, I think, people who are teaching you about getting grants and stuff like that, people like me, you see them that it gets a sense of that, oh, it's going to be easy. I just make one phone call and I get a check in the mail next Tuesday. It doesn't happen that way. It takes work, to do any of this stuff. Now, it may be easy. You may be able to make one phone call, and get a check by next Tuesday, but that's an anomaly. They're an outlier. Most of us are going to have to work our butt off and try to get it. But to me, people are afraid to even put in an hour. 2 hours or a day, or 2 days. Wow, if someone's going to give you 20 grand to do something that you really want to do all your life, what the hell if it took you a month? What'd you do the last month? We all sat on our ass, whatever. So that's why it's important to realize, you're going to have roadblocks. That is life. Life is nothing but failure anymore. You have to do that because nobody knows what the hell they're doing out there. It's changing all the time. It's hard as hell. So you might as well just struggle through it. The point is, who cares how long it takes? If it takes 5 minutes or 5 days or 5 weeks, man, this is your life. And you got to get as much out of it as you possibly can, and that's the important thing that you're getting out. So it takes you a few extra weeks or something to get something. Gosh, in the time of a lifespan, even at my age, at 74, I figure I have at least 25 more years, and so if it takes me another month to do something, You know, in 25 years, that doesn't mean a whole lot, you know, and that's why it's working. It's persistence. It's things like that. They're the skills you need, not taking a congressman to senator to dinner. That may be true too, but you can't play that game unless you have a lot of money. So forget about that game, and just do it the real way, you know, the way it should be done. And that way you'll show other people too. The important thing I think about doing things the way you think is right, not only it may be harder than some other person does it, but you're showing others. Lead by example is the most powerful thing I think you could do in life. Like with your kids, if you're telling your kids not to eat, you know, or whatever, not to smoke, and you're sitting there with a hoagie and a cigar in your mouth, you know. That's kind of true. It's sort of like us telling them, oh, you're going to die if you try marijuana, you know, or something like that. And kids say, hey, you know, nobody I know is most that's dying. So it's, you know, it's leading by example. That's what it. Also, another thing is that people think everything is complicated, you know. Now, it's not complicated. Look, all the stupid people that get grants. You worked for them and everything, yeah. And behind your back, you're probably, God, he's a dumbass. And, you know, life isn't how smart you are. Life, you know, I think 90% of us have 90% of the skills necessary to do almost anything in this country. It's that other 10%, you know, that we probably, you know, like brain surgery and stuff. And the rest of the stuff, most of us could probably do if we have the desire to do it, if we're willing to put in the work. So complicated? No, because here's another thing that falls into that. You think you need a grant writer. You don't. You don't need a grant writer. You don't. You may, but listen to this, okay? The reason you don't is here, number one, only 20% of the free money that's given out is called grants. We talked about that earlier. Maybe I just dreamt it in my head, but I think we mentioned that. Okay, so now for those 20%, and those are typical grants. So that's why when people say you need a grant writer, then they're really talking about old school grants. Old school grants in this country is really set aside for nonprofit organizations. And that's what that 20% of grants are. It mostly goes to nonprofit organizations or to other agencies and other government officials and things like that. So that's where that goes. And so you're not, unless you're a nonprofit, and unless you're a government agency, then you probably won't run into a complicated grant. Because all the other sources of free money, you need money for school. You need money to start a business. You need money to live on, you know, to pay your bills or whatever. You have an emergency with it. It's usually going to be like 2 pages, fill out the blanks. Maybe 3 pages. 4 max. You know, that's it. And also, so like a grant, you know, remember, like the one that individuals use a lot are grants for artists, okay? Now, your local arts agency puts on a free class on how to fill out the grant. You know, wow. So you don't have to hire anybody to do that. And what happens is that people, I mean, I talk to them all the time, they're running around and say, oh, I want to get a government grant. I don't have a grant writer. They talk to grant writers. And of course, grant writers are going to tell them they need a grant writer, right? To me, that's like buying a dress before you're invited to the prom. You find out exactly where you're going to apply to. Then if that looks like they need 50 pages of something you don't even know what they're talking about, then you look for a grant writer. But don't start by looking for a grant writer. Start by finding where is the best place for you to get the money. That's what you want to know. That's the only thing to concentrate on. Forget everything else, okay? So you don't need a grant writer. Okay, what else? You don't need to give anyone money. Right. So you don't need to pay. to find out about these programs. In other words, people are calling people to say, hey, just give me $500 and we're going to send you a grant. You know, and I still see that they're getting calls like this or whatever. As long as you know, we have to process the paperwork. So you just send us $376 or whatever the hell they convince you, you know, to send them, and they'll send you this $6,000 grant. I keep getting people that calling me or whatever, and they say, is this legitimate? No, no, no. Forget it. Anybody who says you have to give them money in order to get a grant, no, no, no. Just forget it forever. Never do that in your life and never do it again, okay? Because it's just, anybody who's a legitimate grant giver is not charging, you know. Otherwise, they're a scam and doing something else. So you don't have to give anybody money to do that. Okay, another thing, you think that grants are the only way to solve problems, see? And that's another thing, is that it's not. I'm writing this out. There are other ways to solve problems. In other words, say like you're in debt. And you want to, oh, if I only had 20 grand and to get out of debt, you know, and things like that. That would say, so I'm going to look around and okay, I know Lesko said only ask for financial assistance, okay? And so you're looking for financial assistance and don't say grants. Well, see, there's other ways to get out of that problem. Like I was helping a fellow at a retirement home here who had thousands and thousands of dollars in debt. And I hooked them up with a financial counselor. They're free. See, the government has free experts that they give grants to, so they're getting free money to help you solve problems for free. So they were able to actually write to the bank, and it's a big national bank, and get the debt eliminated. Puff, goes away. Puff. Goes away. If you don't ask, you're believing everything is true because you signed some papers that were 17 feet deep, you know, in small print you never read and you assume you're going to go to jail if that happens. No, you're not the first person this happened to. They're used to people not paying, but they're going to do everything they can, you know, to get the money from you, legal or illegal. And if you get somebody who understands the system, apply for the same grant. Yes, people can apply for the same grant. Okay. Let me write that. Yeah. Okay, so you know, you have somebody help you, which is free, and actually they're HUD counseling. If you go Google now, HUD counseling, and find your local office, they're the people who get free grants to do that. Or call your new 211 number locally and find out about your financial counseling because you're in debt, and get that, start working on with the companies themselves. They're away. You say, hey, I'm not going to pay this. What's the deal we could do? We got to wipe this out because otherwise I'm going to go bankrupt and you get nothing. Nothing if I go bankrupt. You want to do something now or get nothing? You tell me. And if I go bankrupt, you're going to have to wait 5 years to get anything. You know? So that's, see, there's ways, and they know it. They've been through that 100 times. You doing it for the first time, if you're like me, I'd be afraid because I was taught to be responsible and take care of my debts and all that kind of stuff. And it's a different game out there, you know. They're not responsible to you, so why the hell are you responsible to them? And that's unfortunate, you know, that we play that way, but that's what it is. I mean, I'm reading another book I'm going to soon about corporate greed. I mean, God, I don't know what's happening to us. I mean, I love capitalism, I think. I mean, that's why I'm trying to now figure out, hey, how can I get this service to people and information and make money out of it? Because I got to make money to feed myself and whatever. So capitalism tells you that, and it means that I don't have to be you know, just please myself because I think it's important. I want this stuff to be important to you, somebody out there who's willing to pay some money for it. There's a new book about people who graduate from business schools, and the data show he said he signed a report from the Aspen Institute that explains when students enter business school, they believe that the purpose of a corporation is to produce goods and services for the benefit of society. That's what I believe. We're all here to do things to help other people. And businesses do that. Personally, we do that, right? We're here to help other people, okay? However, when they graduate, by the time the people in business schools graduate, they start out thinking a business is supposed to help society, and then by graduate, they believe that a business's job is to maximize shareholder value. So that means the owners, to me, we're here. I mean, to make money out of business, that's what you should do. Because you have to support yourself and other people and whatever, and that's it. But to have the sole purpose of maximizing, that means I could screw you as a customer as long as I'm making more money for the owners, And that's it seems immoral to me. I don't know about you, but it doesn't seem like a moral society, that lives like that. Unless you want to live in a gated community, and that's the kind of society we're going to have, and oligopoly and all that kind of stuff. And that may be interesting to see. So that's grants are the only way to solve the problem. Did I multiple? Oh, I know. You could apply for more than one. That's right. Multiple applications, LICATIONS, right? So you can keep applying. You can apply for 100 things. You could have now people in the household. Sometimes some money. I mean, one of the questions I got here was that do people can more than one person in the household? Yes, but if it was an individual grant, if it's a household grant, then it's for the whole household. So it depends. Like for a house, down payment on a house, and you got one house, and you have 3 different people, applying for that one down payment on the same house. That probably ain't going to happen. But if it's free money to live on to start a business, and you both live in the same house, then you can. So that's it. And both of those grants don't require a grant writer, So that's the important thing. So there are my 10 things. Need money to fix up a house in Alabama. Yes. Okay, here are the places you go. 1, you go to your state housing authority. Every state has a housing authority or housing finance agency. That's why there are different names in different states. So you want to Google that, put the name of your state. And remember, when you're looking for particularly housing, well, most anything, if you're looking for money that's free, you don't have to pay back or help, look for .gov or .org. Or that's a nonprofit. Do not go to .com. Stay away. Excuse me, or anything else. So you go to your state. You go to your county. You have a county house, and that's usually under an agency called Community Development. I heard about these TDA accounts. I'm not sure what a TDA, a link to your birth certificate. It sounds like some internet scam. I have no idea what TDA is in birth certificate. Nothing I know that's legit. But somebody will have a brain, wild ass idea to convince people and find out how to get money. My only thing, if somebody's asking you for money for that, forget it. If they're not asking you money for that, then pursue it. Okay, so now you're at the county government and you're looking for community development. It's usually under that. Sometimes it's something else, but that's it. Then you go to your state level. Streamnet. Yeah, I think that's everything streaming at the same time. I tried that, and what happens is the streaming themselves, they treat you different if you're going through a third party. And how, see, in other words, what Facebook and all these things do to your stream is really the key. So how many other people see it? But I haven't tested it fully, but that's what keeps me away a little bit. So now you have your state, you have your federal, you have your city, okay? And that's important too. They all have programs. And then you have nonprofit organizations. Then you have the Federal Home Loan Bank Board in your area. So you check with all 3 of those. as the best places for money. Smarty pants. And oh, I see. That was a blog thing. Oh, okay. What was that? Send me that link. Was it Summit? What was that? Let's Go Free Radio at gmail.com. Yeah, because this disappears on YouTube. I can't see it again. Where was I? Boy, people interrupt me, and I love it, but then I'm trying to pick up, where the hell did I leave off? Also you could do is go to letsgo.com/research, and I'll find you, 100 programs in any city in Alabama can help you fix up a house. But they're the things. Also, if you're a senior, that means if you're over 50 or so, call your local area office on aging. Start with that too. About fix-up money. There's a lot of housing money for fix-up. Here are 2 other organizations that do it for free. College student that has an apartment in Oklahoma, got sick and had to go back to my home. Oh, lost that. Okay, here's another thing. 2 nonprofits that help fixing up homes for free. One is Habitat for Humanity, and the other one is Rebuilding Together. Okay, both of those are .orgs. They're nonprofits, so make sure you get .orgs. Nothing else. You don't want to deal with .coms or anybody else. Wow. So, do you have enough time left to go to church? You think? You think? You think you do? Well, maybe you do. But I gotta finish research reports. They're over my head. I'm overwhelmed. Oh, went yesterday. Thanks, John. Early bird special. The Vigil Mass. Oh, is that like midnight? Do you have a Twitch? It's the streaming where the viewers can send tips. Twitch. Twich, is that it? Twich. Let's see if I get that back. Now I'll take a look at that. I'm always looking for new streaming sites and put up on a camera. It can't hurt, right? It's I feel like I'm having a press conference, right? It's okay. Yeah, it's an app. Okay. Okay, so in the next day or 2, I'm sure I'll be back again. I'll have something to babble about. Let me go back and do the custom reports. And don't forget to call me on letsgo.com/talk, T-A-L-K. I'm helping a lot of people. Stephanie, thank you so much. And let me know if I could help you, okay? Anybody. I mean, we're here to help each other. If I can help you for free, that's great. Sometimes I get overwhelmed and pissed, but some people are saying that the SS number you have linked to the bank account. Oh, that's stuff. Love hearing. Yeah. Okay, email me, Stephanie, and I'll be happy to try. Try again for the information. You are great. Samuel Hall, good. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Go to Sunday church. Yes, get out there. Do anything you think is good, man. That's all. Doesn't matter what other people say. You're the one that has to get through this shit. Do it your way. Heading out now. Have an awesome day. Okay, Belinda. Great. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Talk to you in a day or 2. The Riddler will return. Oh, now why did that's the first time in my life I called myself the Riddler. I'm me. Take care.